Welcome to Group 17's presentation. Today, we will be talking about Unilever's possible acquisition of Ethic. Unilever is one of the world's largest multinational enterprises in the personal care and beauty industry, owning over 400 brands and operating in more than 190 countries. Unilever has a history of acquiring sustainable and ethically focused brands. A company that aligns with Unilever's focus on sustainable and ethical businesses is Ethic. Ethic is a Christchurch-based company founded in 2012, renowned for its environmentally friendly beauty bars. The company uses plastic-free packaging, climate-friendly practices, and has now become a leader in personal care in New Zealand, recognized for the innovation and commitment to sustainability. Unilever is interested in acquiring Ethic, which presents an opportunity to expand its presence in the eco-friendly personal care market. However, this potential acquisition raises big questions: how it would affect Ethic's brand values, New Zealand's economy, and local stakeholders. This acquisition brings potential growth and development. But in order to succeed, Unilever will need to navigate through several key challenges. In this presentation, we will explore how institutional, cultural, and market forces could shape the acquisition and whether the deal would benefit New Zealand stakeholders. Regarding the stakeholders and context of this potential acquisition, Ethic is a New Zealand-based company that has built their reputation around strong values, plastic-free compostable packaging, cruelty-free vegan products. Their stakeholder base is very different from Unilever's global network, as Ethic's consumers are a niche but loyal group of environmentally conscious buyers who are willing to pay more to support sustainable and ethical practices. One of the key stakeholder groups affected is Ethic's suppliers. If Unilever decides to switch to larger, cheaper international suppliers, it could displace local businesses and jobs. However, if Unilever maintains Ethic's current supplier network, those suppliers could gain unprecedented exposure to global markets, leading to an increased demand. Another important stakeholder is the New Zealand government. On one hand, foreign direct investments bring benefits such as inflows of capital, higher exports, tax revenue, and employment opportunities. On the other hand, New Zealand is known for having one of the most restrictive FDI regimes among OECD countries. This means the acquisition would be closely scrutinized, not just by regulators, but also by the public, who may fear a loss of local control. Finally, there's the issue of brand authenticity. Ethic's unique identity as a local, mission-driven brand could be at risk if fully absorbed into Unilever's multinational structure. If that authenticity is lost, the trust of their very own consumers who built Ethic's success could also be at loss. Overall, while the acquisition has potential benefits for growth and expansion, Unilever will need to carefully manage the stakeholder relationships to avoid undermining what makes Ethic valuable in the first place.
With Unilever's acquisition of Ethic, there will be significant legal and economic challenges that they will need to manage in order for a successful acquisition. Firstly, New Zealand has one of the highest ranks among countries with the most restrictive foreign direct investment regimes in the OECD. This will be challenging for Unilever as they not only have to comply to these regulations, increasing their operational costs, but also maintain positive stakeholder relationships in New Zealand. Additionally, The Overseas Investment Office will also assess whether the acquisition is in the best interest of the host nation, in this case, New Zealand. This directly relates to complying with competition laws and regulations. Mainly, Unilever needs to ensure they are not reducing consumer choice or unfairly consolidate market power in this specific sector, as they will be in violation of the New Zealand Commerce Commission's regulations. For Unilever, this adds pressure to balance economic benefits with national interests. Environmental and sustainability regulations are also highly relevant. Ethic has built its brand around sustainable practices, and New Zealand's regulatory framework emphasises environmental protection. Unilever would need to demonstrate compliance not only with local environmental standards, but also with global environmental, social, and governance expectations, which are increasingly binding in the EU and UK through disclosure directives. Overall, while the acquisition offers strategic opportunities, Unilever will face considerable challenges in navigating New Zealand's regulatory environment, maintaining consumer trust, and ensuring that ethics values are not diluted in the process.
Informal rules are the unwritten values and social expectations that shape how business is done. They aren't laws, but they carry a lot of weight in how companies are judged in New Zealand. These include demonstrating strong ethics and sustainability. Businesses in New Zealand are expected to act responsibly, and when they don't, it can quickly damage their reputation. For Unilever to succeed in acquiring Ethic, it must align with these local expectations and understand what New Zealanders value in responsible business. Locally, there's a strong culture emphasis on ethical conduct, sustainability, and transparency. These values shape public expectations of business. Ethic aligns with this culture through its zero waste, sustainable operations. For Unilever, maintaining this alignment is key to securing stakeholder trust and avoiding reputational risk. Concerning the normative factor, this is essentially society's unwritten rules about what's considered appropriate behavior. These norms set the standard for how companies are expected to operate beyond what is legally required in New Zealand. Companies are expected to act responsibly and ethically. Ethic has built its reputation by living up to these standards, which is why it has earned strong loyalty for its stakeholders. Unilever must uphold them too, or risk losing public support and during and after the acquisition. The cognitive factor considers the underlying beliefs that people hold, often subconsciously, about how companies should behave. In New Zealand, there's an expectation that sustainability and transparency aren't just an initiative, but a default. Ethic meets this with processes such as its carbon neutral shipping. Unilever must preserve these practices to maintain brand legitimacy and maintain its stakeholder interest.
Upon entry into a new market, Unilever needs to research and develop um, through understanding of market forces that govern ethics behaviors. This includes, but is not limited to, an analysis of their competitors, globalization opportunities, and consumer demand trends. As ethic operates in New Zealand, they are governed by the market economy, where resource allocation is motivated by supply and demand, and where there is minimal government intervention. By determining the market condition that Unilever will be entering, they will be able to determine the feasibility of business and their market entry options. With an acquisition, there is already an ease of doing business as Ethic has an established network of supplies, consumers, and distribution channels. What Unilever will have to focus on mainly is the competitors that Ethic has. While Unilever already owns some of the biggest personal care brands such as Dove and Lux, they do not have as much of a focus on sustainability as Ethic offers, creating a different market segment Ethic can take advantage of. However, Major competitors such as L'Oreal will pose a threat to ethics' niche advantage as their investments in eco-friendly products continue to increase, backed with large-scale multinational funding. The second factor driven by market forces is globalization. For Ethic, globalization can be very beneficial as it proves a platform for their products to reach distribution channels that would not be as feasible without this acquisition. However, as mentioned earlier, Ethic's unique brand segment may be diluted in the global market as similar products have significant market shares. For example, Lush's main market is in the UK, with strong preference both online and in stores. They also have a strong brand loyalty among consumers who support their ethical and cruelty-free products. This increased competition in the global market has the threat ethics brand authenticity, with more focus being placed on competing with similar brands. The third market force that Unilever faces is consumer demand trends. This is a significant opportunity to leverage as consumer preferences is increasing for zero waste, cruelty-free, and ethical brands. With a strong sustainability focus, Ethic already has strong core values that Unilever can broaden through greater exposure and scaling, reaching consumers globally. What Unilever needs to be aware of is maintaining the authenticity that Ethic currently has, making sure to keep the core business untouched as they are already fighting claims of greenwashing and brand dilution. In summary, the market forces surrounding this acquisition present both substantial opportunities and notable risks. Competition from multinational giants, the complexities of globalization, and rapidly evolving consumer expectations all shape the environment in which Unilever must operate. Success will depend not only on leveraging Unilever's scale, but also on preserving what makes Ethics distinct, its credibility, sustainability, and the New Zealand identity.
The resource-based view helps us to understand a firm's capabilities, which we can apply to Ethic. This view suggests that a firm's ability to succeed depends on the resources it has at its disposal. These resources are grouped under the VRIO framework, which include valuable, rare, imitable, and organized. These are the core elements that allow a company to grow and maintain a competitive edge. Ethic's strengths lie in its commitment to sustainability and eco-conscious innovation. As a certified B Corp, Ethic leads the industry by adopting transparent and sustainable business practices that resonate with environmentally aware consumers. This strong sustainability ethos is difficult for competitors to imitate, giving Ethic a unique and authentic brand identity. One of Ethic's most innovative features is its solid bar, plastic-free packaging, which lasts as long as 3 traditional bottled products. This innovation not only reduces environmental impact, but also provides cost saving for the consumer. This unique product offering appeals directly to a growing market of eco-conscious buyers who are shifting their purchasing habits towards sustainable alternatives. With Unilever's acquisition, Ethic gains access to large-scale production and global distribution networks. This will support Ethic's growth and enable it to enter international markets more efficiently. At the same time, Unilever's benefits by diversifying its portfolio with a brand that stands out in the sustainable personal care segment, giving it a competitive advantage over its rivals. However, maintaining Ethic's core values and authenticity post-acquisition is critical to preserving consumer trust and loyalty.
Unilever's acquisition of Ethique presents several risks to be considered. Firstly, there are institutional risks. New Zealand's strict foreign investment regulations require clear and measurable national benefits from acquisitions. Any gaps in demonstrating those benefits could delay or even block approval. Beyond the regulatory side, there's also a risk that Ethique's unique New Zealand identity and strong connection to local values could be lost, especially especially given Unilever's global ownership of competitors. In addition, Unilever has faced public criticism in the past for greenwashing and brand dilution. If similar allegations emerged after the acquisition, they could further threaten Ethic's trusted reputation. Secondly, market risks arise from growing competition in sustainable and eco-friendly personal care products. While Unilever's global scale and distribution network can help Ethic to expand faster, losing control over operations might damage its distinctiveness. There's also a concern over potential job losses and the replacement of local suppliers, which could negatively affect the New Zealand economy and ruin its authenticity within the country. The cultural risks are also a consideration. New Zealanders strongly value sustainability and ethics. If Unilever fails to uphold Ethic's brand values, public opposition could harm its reputation and stakeholder trust. These institutional market and cultural forces create a complex environment full of both opportunities and challenges. To mitigate these risks, Unilever should maintain Ethic's independence, keep production, research, and supplies in New Zealand, and prioritize transparent sustainability reporting. Following the international standards like the World Bank's governance indicators will show accountability and meet regulatory expectations. By taking these steps, Unilever can manage risks effectively while unlocking market growth for Ethic. Thank you for listening.